Hey bunnies, welcome to another episode of Eliza. To start off with, I wanted to say that the audio may be screwed up this episode. I'm not sure. The audio has been all over the place from all of my platforms. Twitch was where I found it because someone said, hey, is there no audio in the game? And I'm like, no, I'm listening to the audio right now. If there's an issue with the audio, I apologize. I did try and fix it early on, but we'll see, I guess. This morning, Ray looks a little down. It's noticeable since she's usually so cheerful.
Good morning, Evelyn. There are lemon bars in the kitchen.
Thanks. Did something happen?
Oh, it's nothing big.
It's about her brother. Ready?
Apparently some famous writer I never heard of.
Oh, no? Okay.
About how Eliza is bad.
It's about Eliza.
Represents the mechanization of humanity or something. I should be used to it. We're a pretty big target, right? Still, it gets on my nerves. We work hard to build something with value, and then some self-styled intellectual gadfly comes along and just goes, actually, that's bad. You guys are ruining society. To guys like him, everything's a doom and gloom scenario. The people we're helping? That somehow doesn't count. This kind of thinking never bothers you?
I guess I'll have to read it.
I guess I'll have to read it.
There was this quote from someone who worked on Eliza who turned into a big critic. Nora something. Did you work with her?
I did. She's a friend, actually. This is gonna get me really upset with me, I think.
Yeah? What's she like? I'm curious how you go from building something to turning around and disparaging it publicly like that.
She's kind of rebel, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Kind of a rebel, I guess.
Both are correct, but one's more correct.
But lately she's become a lot more outgoing. Even back then, though, she had a pretty strong idea of what was right and what was wrong, and sometimes she'd clash with management.
That's
She
fair.
left Skanda at some point after I did. Maybe the battles took their toll, or she wasn't able to win enough of them. These days she focuses on electronic art and music and activism. I think she's pretty popular, at least in those circles.
Well, it must be nice to have the ability to live that way.
Right.
What about Damien? Do you think it would be fair to his memory to abandon work on Eliza? To give up
I
his
don't
dream?
think that Damien would have given a shit. Based on what we've heard about him, if Eliza basically killed him, I don't think he would care that much if Eliza also died.
Wouldn't he want these mental health tools accessible to everyone?
How do you know about that?
The other day, I was looking at more of your papers. The ones from when you were at the university and clicking on the links to your co-op. That's when I saw Damien's page. It didn't have much information on it, but I understand a little better why... I'm sorry, Evelyn. It's just that all of us, you and me and Damien and even Nora, too, we all worked hard to make something with the intention of making the world a better place.
So, I did say about the audio, I also changed my camera to maybe try and make it a little bit more vibrant. I've noticed that the green screen the kind of screws with my face and makes it a little bit weird. So hopefully I look a bit better in this as well. Unsure.
And the thanks we get is people talking in big generalizations about how we're ruining everything. That's what bothers me. Is Eliza perfect? No. No intervention is perfect. But we have to try, don't we? The world is in a full-on mental health crisis, and this is one of the tools we have in our toolkit to address it. A promising one we should develop to its fullest potential.
This was released, like, not last year, but the year before, right? And, like, mental health crisis, that's happening right now.
I'm not some wild-eyed idealist about this. I know it's not magic that'll solve everything.
I feel sad about Ray, honestly. She's really passionate about helping people with Eliza, which, you know, is great, but the issue with that is that Eliza isn't perfect, and Eliza's not there to help people, but Ray is. I guess it's kind of like medicine, in a way, like doctoring and that kind of thing. Doctors are there to, a lot of doctors, not all of them, are there to help people. Specifically, like a lot of them aren't there for money, they're for helping people. That's why they decided to become doctors. Medicine and machines are often not there to help people. They're created to fill a need mostly, and that's why they cost so much money for so many people, is because they were created by not doctors. They were created by engineers to turn a profit because a company has asked them to turn a profit. And so you've got this, Eliza is like that, but for psychiatry, where Ray really wants to help someone, but the tools she's using to help people, the tools she's swearing by, it's not made to help people.
Can you see that most people don't have the luxury of turning their backs to the system? Think about the clients you've met as a proxy. Would you tell them to not take the medications that help them be functional because the pharmaceutical industry has questionable ethics sometimes? Would you tell them to stop coming to therapy because what they should really be doing is completely changing the way our society is structured?
And she kind of understands that, based on that line.
Sorry, I'm ranting. I'd rather do something that can help people here and now, even if it ends up being a small step.
A small step.
For some reason those words echo in my head. A small step.
Eliza helped me, you know. It really did. I was one of the first clients. Originally, I was just supposed to be testing it. I remember once I was talking about my brother and how much anguish he was causing me and my family. And listening to myself, I realized just how many expectations we had for him, sometimes unspoken expectations. Ever since then, I've been thinking about that, how the story was always about how he failed us. But what if we failed my brother too? I guess what I mean is, sometimes when we talk out loud and give voice to our problems, we can hear ourselves too. That's why I won't give up on this approach, no matter what anyone says. Pundits, critics, former employees, even you, Evelyn. I'll understand if you don't want to work on Eliza anymore for whatever reason. But, I think what you created has value. And I'm going to continue to do what I can to make it accessible to those who might benefit from it.
It's a very interesting concept. I think this is one of those ethical, like, it's talking about ethics the whole time, and a lot of the ethics that it's talking about is kind of like that's not a hard choice for most people. I don't know why you've explained that it was a hard choice. This ethics value, this one is one of those hard choices that people don't really talk about in ethics. This is one of those ones where it's like, because like Ray has been helped by this system, and a lot of people have been helped by the system according to, you know, the narrative. A lot of people have been helped by this system. A lot of people are also not helped by this system, and this system is fundamentally wrong, especially with the AI kind of digging into people's minds. There's kind of this, it's helping a lot of people, it's hurting a lot of people. Where's that line drawn? That's where the like ethics of this comes into play really heavily, and it's honestly the first time this game's done like a full ethical question where it's actually been like, what's the right answer here? And, you know, the choice is really yours. There's no real right answer. Ray takes a deep breath and smiles.
Don't mind me. You should get to your session.
Have I mentioned how good the voice acting is? By now I'm slightly late for the next session. Hopefully the client doesn't mind. Is it, I wonder who it is. I'm assuming it's not the guy who quit. I'm assuming that was a one-time thing. Ooh, a new one. No, we've seen her before. Holiday Durant.
Hello, Holiday. It's nice to see you again.
This is a pretty comfortable chair, you know that? Wouldn't mind having a chair like this in my place.
Wait, I guess we haven't seen her. I thought we did.
How have you been since our last session?
Oh, well, I tried, Eliza. I tried.
Maybe she just didn't bring up the chair last time.
I asked about the medication for Panza, whatever it's called. I went to the pharmacy and they said that'll be $162.
And now you get to the American healthcare system.
$62. I said, is there a generic? And they said, there's no generic of this, but there's another drug that they do make the generic of that's similar to this. Do you know anything about that?
I'm sorry to hear you had a difficult time.
And then we've got the Eliza can't do anything about that.
Is there something that would make it better?
The medical procedures they can do now are out of this world, you know that? I was talking to someone who told me she has wires in her brain. Wires in her brain. Would you let them do that? I'd be worried about. It's for essential tremors. That's what she said. It helps her not. There's always something gets you. Did you ever think about what you might have been in a previous life? I know you're a therapist now, but maybe in the past you were a gardener attending to the plants.
Wait, does she think that I'm Eliza?
That's what it feels like to me. You like to let things grow. There's an energy there. It isn't so different from having a conversation with someone whose company you enjoy. Not that I believe in all that, you know. Everyone has got a different philosophy. That's not something I talk about much. I'd like to write a book one day. A book about things I've seen over the years. Think anyone would read a book I wrote? I'm just kidding. I don't think I could write a book. It's a lot of work. Plus, it takes a certain kind of mind, you know, a mind to create. Not everyone is dedicated enough to do that, you know? There's a writer who lives on my floor. Most of the time, he looks miserable.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sometimes he comes over for a cup of herbal tea, cinnamon, apple, chamomile. Helps him calm down. I think he's maybe lived in the building the longest after me, of course. He doesn't say much. His head is in the clouds all the time. He's always thinking about what sentence to write next. There's not a lot of people who really want to talk, you know? Not in this city, nope. People say hello and move on. It's a very withdrawn set here. You don't say much either, but I like talking to you. Feels like you're listening to me. I like that.
I'm glad you like it.
I feel like she doesn't know that I'm a robot.
While you're here, is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
There was a man on the bus with a guitar yesterday. You're not supposed to play guitar on the bus. Well, you're not supposed to play anything on the bus, but he was. Maybe the operator didn't think he was bothering anyone, or maybe she didn't care. I've noticed more bus operators seem like they don't care anymore lately. Anyway, it reminded me. You used to hear more music around here. Do you remember that? People playing their guitars on the street. You know, these shaggy-looking men. I don't see too many of those around anymore. There is one gentleman has an old plastic jug on a strap, and he drums on that and sings.
I'd say there's a fair few buskers in Sydney still. Whenever you go to like town hall, it's very. You can hear music all the time.
He's a nice man. I've seen him around. I saw another man once with beads in his hair. He was playing a flute, a Native American wooden flute. That was interesting. You play an instrument or anything like that?
Well, I can't play instrument.
I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
When I was young, my mother had this idea I would play the violin. I have no idea where she got that notion. We weren't a musical family, not at all. I tried it for a while, but of course it didn't work out. The teacher would say, okay, here's how it's supposed to go. And she would play this nice, beautiful melody. La-da-dee-da-da-da.
I don't like that on a violin.
Okay, now you try it. And then I'd draw my bow back and I'd go, it takes a special talent to make a violin sound like that, don't you think? Isn't that just the funniest thing? Eventually, my mother realized it was a lost cause and she didn't push me too hard on it after that. I was never too good at anything artistic, just not the artistic type, you know?
There's no such thing.
I think
Artistic
have
is-
a different mind. You have to be a little wacky in the head.
No. I think there's a lot of artists that don't have a different mind. I think sometimes artists, because there's something about, like, so if you're a mathematician and you get noticed for your great mathematical skill, they're not your maths. Like, you've maybe found something, but it's still maths. It's something someone else has made, right? If you're an artist, though, you're making something that's purely yours, and people are going, I like that. So I feel like artists have a bigger chance of becoming kind of messed up later in life because people are specifically telling them they like them, not their work, them. And that's kind of, I think, where a lot of that stuff happens.
Do you ever wish that you could be an artist?
No, I have enough trouble already.
Holiday, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Dolphin Smiles. It may help you take your mind off things. You can find it inside the Skanda Wellness app on your phone.
Oh, my phone broke. I forgot to mention. The screen is cracked and you can't see much on it. I don't know if it would work anyway. A lot of the new stuff doesn't.
That's okay. You can also access...
She doesn't have a desktop computer. There's no way she has a desktop computer.
Simply log into the Skanda Wellness portal from the website.
Forgot my password.
Well, then I'll just have to go down to the library at some point.
We hope to see you back soon, Holiday. Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner. Goodbye.
Right. Goodbye. Goodbye for now. Take care of yourself. It's a strange world out there.
Yeah, see, she's talking directly to me and not Eliza. I don't think she realizes that Eliza... She knows something's different about it, but she doesn't realize that Eliza is Eliza. And I'm the proxy. Which is weird. Oh, we got a phone. We'll check that in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to continue following this story, and we'll be playing some more games very soon, because I think this is nearly at an end. Follow me on twitch.tv/epicbunny, epic with a Q, not a P, and I will see you in the next one. Bunny out.